So pipeline integrity management. There's a broader concept that most operators will be familiar with, which will be enterprise risk management. So this would cover all kinds of risks. Could be riots, pandemics, currency fluctuations, oil price. And part of that risk is the risk that the asset poses to the environment, people, reputation, and business. And that could be wrapped up in one umbrella called asset integrity management. And we're really focusing on one part of it, is pipeline integrity management. But there are structural integrity management programs and well integrity management systems as well. So that's pipeline. That's our view of pipeline integrity management. It's part of enterprise risk management. Over the years, and some of you will be familiar with these, a lot of codes and standards have been generated that actually have a perspective on this and provide guidance. Penspen have been involved in developing these methodologies, auditing clients and developing systems of clients for many, many years. And we've come up with what we call the 17 elements view, which is really, in our view, everything that you need to effectively manage pipeline integrity. And this is a matrix that compares the various codes and standards with that view. And you can see ISO 55000 is a very, very general standard on asset management. Broadly covers all these topics. So we know we have a lot of guidance about how to actually go undertake this task. Another way of looking at it really is risk management throughout the life of the pipeline. And really, when we start off, this is the design phase that I'm showing here. The vertical axis is risk, horizontal axis is time. In the design phase, you're not really exposing people, the environment, and your business to risk, or very, very minimal risk. So you're really predicting forward what that risk might be. So you're undertaking studies like HAZOBs and FMEAs, and then you reduce that risk by design until it's as low as reasonably practical. So you put those reduction measures in place, and then you go through the construction phase. During that phase, nothing much changes. Your future predicted risk is the same. And then you go into operation, and whilst it's an operation, this is where you start to get degradation. The horizontal line, dotted line, is what we consider to be an intolerable level of risk. And at some point, you intervene, and that could be depressurization, that could be undertaking a repair, or in fact, inspecting alone. Just inspecting won't change your risk, but it gives you the opportunity to do something which will change your risk. But it decreases uncertainty, so you can discover the condition of your line, and then you continue to go through that process with intervening, undertaking repairs or other kind of mitigating actions, and eventually it becomes intolerable. And ideally, this would happen the day before your field becomes uneconomic. So I mean, when you do a remaining life study, that's what you're trying to achieve effectively. You want your system to become the risk to become unacceptable about the same time, or just shortly before you need the end of the required life effectively. And then after that, depressurize it, decommission it, and there's just a little bit, yeah. And then you actually, interestingly enough, in most cases, it's very difficult to abandon an asset completely. You always have some kind of residual risk. For an offshore line, that might be a risk to the environment, to fishing. For an onshore line, if it's a large diameter, that could be risk to other land users, risk to water courses, etc. So it's very hard to completely eliminate risk. So in a pipeline integrity management system, this is what we're trying to achieve in general terms, managing the risk of our assets throughout the life.